Warlike, thank you for the follow.
Alright, so I'm good. My audio's included. Alright.
Live.
Interesting. Alright. I don't know why Fame's not picking tanks. should be interesting. Hopefully, I can be as good at commentating as I was last night, but, different circumstances.
Last night was some good games, though. OGTS.
Yes.
It's fun to watch.
An LTTA. The 1390 play on proc, though, was a huge game changer. I think that set the tone. That they were there for business, and that's exactly what they did. This is kind of this is more of a generic lineup from both teams as of now. I mean, you really can't point specifics as of yet. I mean, Kellen with a Chieftain, you know, you can most likely assume he's gonna play mid, but you never know. And Famous, as of now, picking a more mobile lineup. 3 bat chats. You know, that's really aggressive. You have a deselect. Three bat chats, 140, so TNG pulls out the Lorraine 155 and they pull out an M4043, so a battle of the arties here. Let's see how this works.
I did not see that coming.
Those are both. I did. They both like to use artillery.
Julius Boozler, thank you for the follow.
Let me just confirm that both teams are ready. You just flash the spectator. So Prokhorovka, this should be interesting. Both TNG has a lineup that I've quite seen before. I have a feeling I know what they're gonna do, and Fame is quite a mobile lineup. Those 3 bat chats, you can almost guarantee they're gonna have some aggressive plays off the early game. Maybe some really aggressive spotting, because you know that mobility, you can't have them caught in the middle and not be able to go anywhere.
Oh yeah.
Which is, you know, a bat chat needs mobility to be able to do any kind of work.
B-Bell
So as you can
824, thank you for the follow.
So as you can see, TNG has Alarian 155, 51, an E4, Object 140, a Batchat 25, TVP, an E5, and a Chieftain. While Fame has an M40, 43, an Object 140, 3 Batchats, an IS-7, and E5. And IS-7's an interesting tank to see on this map because it has no gun depression, but at the same time, if you can get into some of the right spots in the middle and even on the tracks, you can get some really, really good hold down spots and be able to hold lanes with it. Off the early game, you can see that Fame looks like they're going to try to play the middle, maybe even the 1-2 line. They might try to take the bowl. Looks like those mediums are heading right there at the moment. And TNG, as you can see, they're setting up for a pretty good. Looks like a pretty good defense more than anything. They're not really set up to attack. It looks more of a bait, like the enemy might push into those E5s and Chieftains on Audacity, and MP Cooter and the TVP will be able to focus. Fame does take the bull, and they send 2 Batchats around. Fall damage or HE? Must have been fall, right?
It was Vampire Pilot.
Or an artillery.
I'm thinking it was artillery splash damage.
Yes. Quickly trigger in that Batchat. If he can get up to E1 without getting lit, that's a very strong spot. You can get you have to get proxy to get out of that bush with a good crew, and it looks like he's gonna go right there and get to it. Fame is pushing down the 1-2 line with the Batchat and E5 leading. It looks like the Batchat isn't trying to get too far ahead. The E5 gets lit, but the Batchat is not. Quickly trigger gets lit. Now they know they're pushing. Both Batchats and the E5 are lit, and they keep pushing. Magna Flashboy takes a shot into the side of the turret. MP Cooter is trying to get shots in, but he really has no option. He has to try to run away. But with that kind of firepower suppressing him, he might not be able to get out of this alive. Fame has now taken the 1-2. TNG is no longer possession of that side of the map. So now they're setting themselves up to get encompassed. Magna Flashboy takes another shot, APCR shell into the turret. And Cooter is regrouping with Chieftain and Hunchops. Looks like they might try to get a volley in and try to get that. Calamar gets hit by artillery and gets ammo racked. That could be a game changer in the Chieftain. Calamar is reduced to a one-shot. Will Fame be able to focus him out? At this point in the game, hit points is everything. If you could drop a tank, that is definitely noted, especially on this map where DPM is really important because a lot of these trades, they're some of the trades are 1 for 1, but in the instance of those Batchats in the back with Fame, if you get caught out, you can get easily lose half your hit points or more. Hunchops is just trying to play defensive and try to get lights. He doesn't want to get any damage trying to peek. I mean, he's got any angle he looks at, he's going to get crossfired, so he has to remain really defensive. Asmodeus TK is getting shots in a Magnum Flashboy, but they're not penning. It's quite a rough shot of the Object 140. It doesn't have the greatest gun for the sniping compared to the other Russian medium counterpart, the 62A. I'm surprised that Toxic Poison hasn't been able to really get these guys. I mean, they're all spotted and they're not moving all that much, especially the Batchats in the back of the map. I think right now Fame is just trying to hold and get the artillery to really punish them. Hunchops gets hit for 850 by an artillery. So that looks like exactly what Fame is doing. They're just trying to hold their positions. TNG can't really go anywhere at this point in time. And right now, they're just waiting. They're letting that 40-43 just rain havoc into them. What TNG should do is maybe have Parco and Asmodeus try to get around and try to focus those tanks in the middle out. You know, Parco and Cooter combined have quite a lot of kill potential that could influence the battle on the lower side. But it does look like ZZ is staying back just in case that does happen and trying to defend from that flank. And right now TNG doesn't really have the hit points to make anything. Well, the tanks that would be pushing don't have the hit points to make any pushes. They're playing solely defensive at this point. Cooter has moved around. It looks like he's trying to sneak over the tracks. in the middle, or maybe try to get crossfire.
I don't know if he's gonna have shots from that far away. He might have to move up a little closer.
Unchops goes down by Fred Carries with the artillery. It looks like Kellen might be next. They're just trying to finish the low hit point tanks, maybe push in. If TNG wants to make a play with those autoloaders, they need to make it now. Otherwise, they won't have the opportunity later on in the game. Once they'll bleed hit points because of artillery.
I think ZZ might be moving up now on Cooter.
Yep.
Already just...
Audacity gets taken out by artillery. That's a huge game changer. Now they have that one tank that was defending the southern side is now out. Now Fame is free to move behind them. And it looks like that's exactly what Vampire Pilot might do. He might try to get Kellenmarn out. But he is reloading, so he'll still have to wait. And Asmodeus is repositioning. He does get spotted trying to go underneath the tracks. Will he get punished for trying to move out? And he does not. He gets away unscathed. And now TNG is spread quite thin on the tracks, with only Kellenmarn left in the field. They're just basically giving Kellenmarn away for free. Magna does take a hit, but Cal will not be able to live for so long. The Batchat gets hit as well. ZZ's now half health. I think Kellenmarn now is just trying to deal as much hit points as he can before he gets yellowed and pushed, so that they may still have a chance to win. Looks like ZZ is trying to spot the J line by repositioning south more. Kellenmarn finally goes down by Magna, but Magna gets taken out by Parko. And Fame loses their first tank of the game. TNG is down 3 tanks, but they are equal in hit points. The remaining tanks on TNG are quite healthy. FK Cloud does bounce a shot to his side. Looks like Fame is going to push the southern side of the tracks, or reposition towards the south. They might try to be defending the flag in case of a push for Cap. But right now, at this point in time, all TNG has to do is stop them from resetting their base, and they should be fine. With only 2 minutes and 20 seconds on the clock. Cooter does get caught out in the open. He does take 3 hits. He's now reduced to a 1-shot. Parko does look like Parko is on the hill to provide support when they push underneath the tracks, but it might not be enough. With one clip, he can take out Vampire Pilot and Mr. APCR. Maybe ZZ if he gets lucky with the high rolls. And Cooter gets shots in, but other than that, there's no chance that they'll be able to pull this game back with only 1 minute and 55 seconds on the clock. The Batchats do hesitate to push underneath the tracks. Both Batchats are on the north, or on the F line, are spotted, and Parko did get lit as well. Vampire Pilot is now pushing into Cooter. Vampire Pilot is reduced to a 1-shot and he's ammo-racked. All Parko has to do now is, if he can drop Vampire Pilot and ZZ, he can bring this game to a 3v4, which could be very easily drawn out. Parko is starting to get pushed from both sides. Right now, he should try to push. I mean, pushing Mr. APCR could be a mistake because they do have a heavy tank that could try to get crossfire, but it does look like they're pushing down. Wolfie Trigger is pushing down to A6 to try to get out that medium down there, which is Asmodeus TK, who is clippable by the Batchat. And he's just going to YOLO right over. Asmodeus hops the track in order to maybe get around him. Quickly Trigger and Asmodeus both miss. Looks like he just bounces. Quickly Trigger is a 1-shot. Asmodeus does not get the ram kill. But Quickly Trigger is reloading. They drop Quickly Trigger. Now all they need to do is have Asmodeus run away and hide so they can get out of it, so he can reset. But FK Cloud is right there and hits him for 411. Asmodeus is now a 1-shot. He has 34 seconds for to draw out the game, but I do not think he'll be able to run away from that IS-7. He just got taken out by Fred Carries by the artillery. Fame does win this game. Fame was reduced to a lot of 1-shots. If TNG just got a little bit more shots in, or some better focus, they may have been able to pull that game back. Fred Carey's really changed that game, as did Toxic. Toxic dealing 3,800 damage, and Fred Carey's dealing 4,500 damage in that M4043. He was able to punish any kind of turtle, which is quite amusing, because watching that tier 8 already just ruin the tier 10's days is something that is not always guaranteed to happen on a map like this with artillery. And the problem that TNG had in that game is when they played the one line, they didn't put enough firepower to really prevent a push. And once they won that one line, it was basically game, because TNG was caught out, and they really had nowhere to run. They were just stuck in the cell spawn, or the one line with nowhere to run.
Both Hardy's doing lots of damage. Who picked that first map, by the way?
That is Fame's pick.
Okay. Pretty arty friendly map.
Yes. I remember when we used to play them, we used to both pick 53-55s in like a batch at AP, and it was always quite interesting because you'd see the 50-53 catch like a chieftain or something in the turret, and you just see massive damage rolls come out.
Right. Kind of surprised they didn't pick that. Either team.
I agree a little bit. I think that picking 2 tier 9s is a gamble, because depending on what your opponent picks, if they pick 6-10s and an 8, those 6-10s could be a lot, in a certain situations, more influential than those 2 tier 9s can be.
Right.
Now we're just waiting on Fame's the first 2 picks. I'm not really sure if they're trying to come up with a strat last minute, or looks like one of their players has to reset. Has a 1 bar, he has to reset his console.
Welcome on in, Frazzle Follow.
You finally get the stream working. For any new viewers in the stream or people who aren't able to score, Fame is currently leading 1-0 against TNG. Parko and Cooter picked 2 chieftains with a Batshad and E5 and a 113 currently from Fame. It looks like they're trying to play maybe a more medium-heavy kind of lineup. And I think TNG realized that they need to have a more, if they want to use their artillery to advantage, they need to have some kind of defense to work with, and not low armored tanks if you want to try to hold.
2 chieftains. I like it.
I agree. I like the 2 chieftains. I think they're very strong tanks in this map, but you have to be. I think a chieftain is on this map. You have to be pro-dominant in it. You have to be the aggressor. Because if you get them the high ground, that turret is not nearly as good as if you own the high ground. Yeah. I think Fame came prepared quite a lot for this game. I saw them earlier practicing in a training room beforehand. And I think they really want to make a stand based on that last game. They showed that they meant business and that they weren't really they were gonna make them play on their terms and give them as little chance as possible for that not to happen.
Oh, yeah.
Captain Salty Bean, thank you for the follow.
Just waiting on one of Fame's players to get back in. There he is.
Oh,
There's the STB1. That is
yeah.
an interesting tank to see in this map because any of you watched the stream last night, as I said, it's very good if you can have the high ground, but due to its bad gun handling and most people spamming premium ammunition, the turret doesn't hold up and the gun handling really trolls you and you have to make those quick snaps in the center of the hill or the ridge or whatever. So an STB is a huge gamble, and they picked two of them, so they're really tempting fate with RNG in this game.
11 Lime Dude 1123, thank you for the follow. Yeah, very medium setup, my Fame.
I agree. Looks like they might try to go. They might try to use the 113 and maybe the E5 and the bat jets to push down the one line again. Use the STBs in the middle, or just have the bat jets and 113 push and use the 113 as more of a meat shield, while those STB ones can catch things out of in the open off the early game. As you can see, TNG has picked 3 TVP 50-51s, an Object 140, and 2 Chieftains. I think I do know what they're going to do on this one. This is those TVPs, man. If they put them in the right spot, they can punish the Batchats and STBs for any kind of aggressive play if they can catch them out. Only problem with the TVP is if they're ever caught in a one-on-one with the Batchat will clip the TVP almost guaranteed, and the TVP will never be able to clip a Batchat with one clip unless he sets him on fire or aimoracks him. Or somehow miraculously pens with HE all 4 shots max rolls. Which I don't see that ever happening, but...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Valto,
waiting on the last pick.
Outcast, Rebo, RN. Or wait, that's Outcast Reborn, sorry. Thank you for the follow.
Let me just confirm ready from both teams. Alright, and both teams have confirmed readiness now.
Cool. Here we go. Game number 2.
Here we go on the game number 2. Fame is winning 1-0 right now. Fame's map pick on Prokhorovka. I'm really curious to see how Fame's going to play those STB1s and how TNG's going to play those 3 TVPs. Both of them offer a lot of different potentials. Those STBs, they can play bull very nicely, or they can play F6, that area, E6, F6 very nicely as well. And with the 3 TVPs, you'd almost want to use bait with them, to be honest. If you can get something to push in, you can drop, 1280 hit points per TVP into a tank, which would completely decimate almost 2.
Looks like a lot of fames. Looks like both teams are headed towards the hill.
It is quite interesting. I think this is going to be... I don't think either team is expecting this. Toxic Poison does spot Vampire. Looks like Vampire is still reloading. Toxic does snap a shot up, but it does not hit. Fame does get the E5 spotted. And M4043 does also get spotted. Looks like those TVPs might catch those tanks going up to the hill, and if they can, that'd be quite punishing. Mr. Tubby Tank and E5 is both spotted. Fred Carries does get shot. If they can take this already out, that could be a huge game changer. He does go down.
Wow.
That goes that advantage for trying to hold. Fame does, however, get tanks in the hill. The Batch Head, the 2 STBs have been spotted. Now TNG needs to realize that if they stay there, they're going to get stuck in a crossfire. Vampire Pilot does look like he's repositioning to maybe go up the hill. Hunshops does light Magna. Magna does take a shot. He takes 2 shots. The TVP is starting to unload.
Looks like Osmodeus and Audacity and Kellen are headed up the hill as well.
Kellen Martin does get spotted. Magna is now a 1 to 2 shot, depending on what shoots him left in the game. Parko is a 1 shot, though. He's been caught out in the open. Parko does go down.
MP Cooter goes down.
Cooter does... Yep. Cooter goes down as well. He gets focused out. Hunshops is now the next focus. The TVPs are pushing in. They need to focus Magna if they want to make any kind of impact on the hill. Magna goes down. But it looks like the hit points are not in TNG's favor right now. Audacity is a 1 to 2 shot for those bats. Audacity goes down. Kellen is reloading right now. He needs to get out of there.
Oh,
Mr. APCR does go down as well. It's now a
yeah.
4v4, but the hit points are in Fame's favor drastically. Hunshops does go down as well. Kalmar just
Wilson,
dropped in the
Taryn,
water. Looks like he might try to go clip the 113.
thank you for the follow.
Asmodeus is just trying to run away. ZZ is getting shot by the RU-251 as he pushes across the hill. Callan does set the 113 on fire, and he does drop him. Mr. Tubby Tank is down.
Wow. Was not expecting that.
Asmodeus does get taken down. They get... Batchets get some nice on-the-move shots. The Batchets now are stuck on the low side of the hill, though. Mr. Curtis is going to try to push into Kellen, but I don't think he realizes that Kellen is just about reloaded. There Kellen goes. Kellen drops his clip in Mr. Curtis. He does bounce off the hull. That could be a game changer right there. Mr. Curtis is now a 1-shot. Kellen goes down. It's just Toxic Poison left with 6 minutes and 30 seconds left on the clock.
Ukrainian Boy 1, thank you for the follow.
Right now, Toxic is going to have a really difficult time trying to draw out this game to maybe play on Ghost Town. If he can get Mr. Curtis out, that would at least drop 1 tank left. But being able to take out both STBs would be quite a daunting task. And the Batchat does move very quick. Toxic is still lit. He does take a shot, but I do not see it connect.
Yeah, 6 minutes is a long time to play the hide and seek game here.
Yes, it is, especially with 3 tanks left.
3 fast tanks as well.
They might just try to use those STBs to defend the cap and have the Batchat look around for him. Both tanks get spotted. It
they're
looks
just
like
gonna
Vampire's
cap.
going to try to sneak one something to Toxic. Yep.
Which is smart. No reason in...
Toxic does get one into Vampire, but Toxic will not have time to be able to reset the cap.
Amorax bad chat.
He does get ammo racked. Does get another shot on the bat shot. The bat shot's now half health. I mean, if Fame wasn't capping, Toxic might have been able to actually pull this through. He does shoot a Vampire again, and he does get set on fire, and Toxic Poison does drop. So well executed by Fame. They were able to catch TNG off guard with that hill push and catch them heavily out of position.
Sniff my wagon. Thank you for the follow.
And if you look at the board, that artillery didn't do anything this game, but they were still able to pull that through. Those two STB-1s on the hill were able to put in a lot of damage, and really only Kellen and Toxic put a lot of damage on TNG's side, which is quite nice. You can see what an RU-251 can do in a position like that. It has quite good DPM for a light tank at tier 8, and it does have very excellent mobility and camouflage. TNG wants Ansk on a map pick. This is a surprise.
Oh, yeah.
J. Clem Jr., thank you for the follow.
Oh, yeah.
And Scrutchy, thank you for the follow.
I've just indicated to both teams that they can start picking tanks that spawns are screwed away. Ensk is always a pleasure to see. It's I know it's a map that I've seen played quite often in TNG's history, and I know Fame. I've never seen them play Ensk before. It's quite always have enjoyable maps on Himmelsdorf and such. Fame is a very good team. I believe they came out of Corruption with Magna Flashpoint and ZZ.
Oh,
leading it.
Yeah.
Frazzle Fallout, thank you for the follow.
So Quilly Sugar does pick the Waffly 100, and that might incline, and the Death Star. He does. FK does deselect the Death Star. I don't know if he wants to run in or if he wants to pick something else, or maybe change the equipment on it, put food or something on.
I would like to see a Death Star.
I would, but I wouldn't at the same time. I think a Waffle and a Death Star is a little bit much on the TD side.
Overkill on, yeah, one team. I meant
it really
like
limits,
each
because
team.
if that Death Star fires and misses, and once that Waffle's reloading, if he makes a bad clip, and then those shots don't connect or they don't pen, then he has a really big problem, because that's 60 seconds pretty much that your tank's out of the fight, and that's a huge tank to lose.
Right.
And especially if that Death Star's firing Hesh, I mean, those E5s, that's hit or miss, whether you hit the cupola and it's a viewport and the viewport absorbs it, or if, you know, you can hit the lower plate or something. The E5 was quite troll with Hesh. So currently the score is Fame is leading 2-0, with their map pick being first Prokhorovka, and now we are on TNG's map pick of Ensk.
There it
Oh,
is. There is the Death Star.
yeah.
Yep.
RD Lives Matter. Thank you for the follow.
Uh. The TNG is two E5s picked, while Fame has two a Waffle, a Death Star, a 1390, and an E100. Looks like Fame, based off of this, might try to play really defensive in the city. As of now, anyways. I mean, they only have 4 tanks picked, but with that 1390, you could almost guarantee he's going to be spotting field. Now TNG is an E100, 2 E5s, and an E4, Audacity and an E4. Both teams, as of now, look like they're playing a very passive lineup. So Fame does bring out the second E100. At a T-57 Heavy. I'm curious to see how TNG is going to play off of this. Kellen Martin picks a 113, and Toxic does pick the RU-251. I think that's a risky play. If he's trying to spot the field and that 1390 catches him out, that RU has really no defense against that 1390. He will almost certainly get clipped. And that's Fame's lineup. 2 E100s, 257 heavies, 1390, a Waffle, and a Death Star. While TNG is running a 113 and E100, 2 E5s, an RU-25, and the NT-110 E4, and we're just waiting on Asmodeus to pick the final tank. And he does pick an AMX-50B, which is what I thought he was going to play. Gotta confirm that both teams are already in Discord.
We just lost somebody from Fame.
Yeah, it looks like he disconnected. His Xbox crashed. And they have Mr. Curtis maybe, or Mr. ABCR come pick. Okay. Now both teams are ready to roll. So for anyone who's new to the stream or you haven't caught the score, it is 2-0 in Fame's favor. And this is TNG's pick, so let's see if they're able to make the most of it. I think this is a very interesting map setup. I feel like the north spawn has quite an advantage over the south spawn in this map for any kind of city play. So Fame has a Walthley 100, a Death Star, 1390, 257s, 2 while TNG is bringing out an E4, an RU251, 2 E5s, an E100, a 50B, and a 113.
Sir Tubbins, thank you for the follow. Mr. Kurdish gets spotted along with the E100.
Looks like Toxic is gonna try to spot down the line. He does spot up some tanks. They are pushing into the field. Looks like Quickly Trigger is gonna go into that little courtyard area and just kind of wait until that push has happened into the courtyard in front of him. And when he does, he'll sneak around and drop a clip into someone. It's pretty. You see that strat used a lot, usually with 57s. It's quite lethal with a waffle. It looks like Vampire Pilot is staying behind just to spot a tracks push, which is exactly what TNG is doing, but Toxic might try to get around first. Quickly Trigger does get lit. And no one on TNG is lit as of now, except for our Toxic Poison. Calamarian is still unlit, as is Parko and Hunshops. They're making the push up the line. Looks like Fame as a defensive strat set up in the city as of now.
Kaiser 7F, thank you for the follow.
Parko does get lit. And does take a shot up, but does not connect. Parko is the only one lit as of now. And now Hunshops is lit as well. Looks like they might try to blind fire Vampire Pilot out because he is not lit right now. Looks like he has a pretty good camo crew and he's sitting in a bush behind a bush. And TNG is trying to blind fire him. Quickly Trigger does get shot. He has taken hit points. Looks like Fame is sitting down a heavy tank down the one line in order to maybe get base cap pressure. See if there's anything else in the city with the T-57 heavy. It's quite a risky tank to send alone if he gets caught out.
Anish Mita, thank you for the follow.
It does look like Fame is trying to play heavy on this side and try to maybe get TNG to push or recognize and overmatch it and make a push. FK Kled is lit. Right now, both teams playing
257s
very
are pushing
defensive.
towards the base.
Yes, it looks like they're gonna fall. They're gonna get lit by MP Cooter and Audacity. They might take some damage for that. Hunshoff just gets obliterated. He just took a lot of damage into him. Looks like he got triple tapped or clicked on by the Death Star. The Death Star is lit as well now. 2 shots fired and they both miss. No shots have connected yet. Right now it looks like both T-57 heavies on the south spawn or the south side are just trying to maybe get a spot because neither MP Cooter nor Audacity nor Asmodeus have been lit yet. Mr. Curtis does get lit. And Vampire Pilot is just sitting there, maybe trying to spot something or look for an opportunity. Looks like he's about to spot Asmodeus once he crosses into that building.
Wow, they're so close to each other yet haven't been spotted by each other.
I'm surprised the proxy hasn't gone off yet. Looks like Asmodeus is using the train cars quite well, but all he has to do is that 1390 just has to get in the right spot to get him through the tracks, and he'll get lit. Vampire Pilot does lit MP Cooter and Audacity, and now he's stuck without being able to move. TNG has the overmatch right now in the north spawn, but I do not think they recognize that. And if Fame is able to push that south spawn, they could be able to. They have an extreme overmatch right now, and they have a lot of clip potential between the Waffle and the 257 heavies and the 1390. That could be a huge game changer right there, because that 13100 E4 fires. That's 13 plus seconds that they're out of the fight.
Are you able to land some shots on the Death Star?
Asmodeus is also now lit. Both teams playing really passive, and really the only damage taken on TNG is that Hesh shot that Hunchops took in the turret. And if you look closely, you can see that the Hesh hit right next to the gun mallet. That's a very, very unfortunate shot on Hunchops. And on Fame's side, that 183 has taken most of the damage. As of now, he's half health.
Looks like a push is coming here from Fame now.
Yep, those 57 heavies. Those 57 heavies are able to get back up, and they're about to push in those tanks. And right now, that Waffle 100 is sitting back on the K2. That way, in case TNG tries to act in that overmatch, they'll get punished for it. Magna Flashboy takes a lot of damage. He's now a one-shot. Asmodeus is able to get a clip out. Magna Flashboy goes down. The 57 heavies are going to start to rebalance. If they can share hit points, bro, they might be able to get out. Parko goes down. 57 heavies are missing. Kellen gets another hit. Mr. ABCR is reduced to a 1 to 2 shot. Now he's a one shot. The RE251 has to knock a shot into him.
RE misses.
Now Asmodeus is pushing up to maybe finish. Hunchops goes down. Doesn't shield Kellen well enough. It looks like Mr. ABCR is going to try to use the tracks. Asmodeus gets hit for 1400 by Heschel in the turret. The RE251 is just punishing Clad right now. Clad is now a one-shot. That RE251 toxic poison are putting in some work over there. Mr. Curtis gets hit. They're getting hit. They're taking a lot of damage in that corner, and they shouldn't be. Looks like Quickly Trigger might try to put cap pressure on or push into MP Cooter. Calamar and 7 goes down. Audacity hits the T-57 for 860. Now he's FK Clad and the T-57 are both one-shots. Both FK Clad has gone down and Magna. They're trying to push into Audacity. Audacity is get back around the corner. Bird Carries does take out Asmodeus, but Asmodeus goes down by Audacity. This is a very close game right now. Audacity is getting around the corner from Mr. Curtis. It looks like right now Toxic Poison and the 1390 are going at it. Toxic misses a shot. The 1390 is a 2-shot. Vampire misses a shot. He's now reloading. Toxic should have the kill. He drops him. Quickly Trigger goes down, and now it's a 3v1. Mr. Kirsch is a 1-shot in his T-57 Heavy. And Mr. Curtis does get taken out by Audacity. This is TNG's first win on Ensk. The score is now 2-1, and Fame is leading. Toxic was able to put up a monstrous amount of damage, 4,000 damage in an RU-251, with Audacity dealing 3,500. And that Death Star on Fame, Fred Carey is able to do 3,500 damage. That's quite a game changer, especially doing that 1,400 damage blow into Hunt Chops off the early game. Gotta open the room for Fame. I swap spawns.
Joe UKS, thank you for the follow. I don't think I was able to say that at the time.
Oh, yeah.
Goliath Games TV, welcome on in, dude. Thank you for the follow.
The room doesn't need to be open. I'm just gonna confirm to see when I can close the room again from both teams right now.
Oh, yeah.
World of Tanks sucks. Thank you for the follow.
Oh, yeah.
Not sure if I agree about that username, but JP81, thank you for the follow.
Oh, yeah.
Who drank my beers? Thank you for the follow.
And that gamer tag is 10 out of 10.
Yeah. Pretty sure I've seen that on the field before.
Yes. So TNG is taking a chieftain, which is quite interesting on this map. We might try to play in one of the windows, perhaps. Looks like Fame is picking quite a similar lineup as of now to last game, except for the E4. We just confirmed that both teams are already in Discord. And let's get the ball rolling.
Game 4, I think, right?
Yes, game 4. The score is now 2-1. Fame is in the lead. So TNG is bringing out a T110E4, an RU251, two E5s, an E100, and Chieftain, an AMX50B, while Fame is pulling out an E4, Death Star, 1390, 257 heavies, and two E100s. Let's see if TNG will play more or less the tracks again, or if they'll play the city this time. Looks like both teams will be playing the city, which means we're going to be see some good brawling action here. At some point, Asmodeus is going into the C4 block of buildings, getting ready for that push on the 4 line. Get some nice crossfires. Mr. APCR is lit. Looks like Parko might go down to the road and the crossing and try to be able to spot down and make sure nothing's going to push. There is Fred Carey sitting in the back waiting for that to happen. Magna Flashboy is pushing down into that crossing. As his FK clad, will Asmodeus be able to drop around? There is nothing stopping Asmodeus right now, but I do not think he realizes that. Both Magna and Cooter take shots, but Cooter does take 2 shots. Asmodeus is now starting to peak. Cooter goes down. And Asmodeus is starting to drop his clip. He is shooting FK clad. He's going to be able to get the whole clip off. Mr. APCR, Mr. Tubby Tank are starting to push in their 57 heavies. The 1390 is about to get around him.
Oh,
It's going to really cause some problems. Mr. APCR does go down. They're going to focus Mr. Tubby Tank. Calamar goes down by the Death Star. Mr. Tubby Tank is now reloading, but they drop. FK Clad does get to drop punch ops. Magna Flash plays a one-shot. Audacity goes down. Right now, Parko is completely surrounded. The Death Star whoops his shot into the gun of Parko and takes no damage. Parko gets to drop Magna Flash Boy, and he is going to try to run away. Quickly Trigger only gets the track. He gets trolled by the RNG. Fred Carey is going to reload, though, before he might be able to get away. Toxic comes from behind. Quickly Trigger is a one-shot. Parko does get to take him out. Right now, they just have to worry about that Death Star rebalancing someone before it's too late. Looks like Parko's going to play Ring Around the Rosie with Fred Carey's. Toxic Poison comes in and maybe try to stop him. The 1390 is reloading behind him. Asmodeus DK is full health, but he can't eat a shot because he's a potential one-shot. Fred Carey's is looking at him. Toxic comes behind him and shoots him in the side. Toxic's now going to try to sandwich in between Fred Carey so that he eats a shot and saves him. Fred Carey's is now reduced to a 2-shot. 1390 is going to try to clip him. Asmodeus comes in though, is able to, he does not, and Toxic gets to finish off the Death Star, and they drop the 1390.
Great match.
That's a very, it was a very interesting game to see out. Fame played in, put the T100s down into the trap, and Asmodeus was able to get them in the side. But then when the 257 Heavies pushed up, TNG had no choice but to push in, because if they waited too long, they would have gotten encompassed. And that is something that is very, very hard to defend against on a map like Ansko. There's so many different buildings and options that you can choose from to get in and out of places. The score is now 2-2. It's a tie game. And now it is Fame's map pick.
MSD25, thank you for the follow.
As in us, it's a very close series between the two teams. We'll see if this will hold out or if one team will pull the lead. It is Fame's map pick. And as of now, both teams have dominated their map picks. Fame had won both of their map choice, and TNG had won both of their map choice. So this could be very interesting to play out. Because if it goes to a 4-4 game, they will play Ghost Town. And that is a map that is always interesting to see played out. Because if you run a too specific strat, you can get punished for it.
Yeah.
And same thing goes with too generic at the same time.
Is he nobody? Thank you for the follow.
It's waiting for Fame's map pick right now. I want Cliff. Alright. And let's see what spawn TNG wants. This is a very exciting series to watch. These games have been relatively close, with just little split-second decisions and little RNG tweaks that really decide the outcome of these games.
Yeah, like last game, Death Star shooting the gun. Probably could have dropped him there had he actually landed that shot.
Agreed. I think that Death Star that's the one reason that it's a very troll tank. I remember that back in the day on Ensk, on the 2 line, there used to be a little spot that a player named Army Tanker would use, and you would either delete someone off the bat of the game, or you would basically throw that courtyard if you make a bad shot. And that's a similar thing of what happened in that game. Is that Fred Carries went for the shot, but he whiffed it right into the front end of the gun, which very well could have been the game changer right there.
Oh, yeah.
Noah 16 OBJ, thank you for the follow.
Waiting for Fame to start picking tanks. So it looks like they're picking an E5 and a Bat Chat as of now. It's too early to tell or to really make any estimates on what they're going to do. If they pick more Bat Chats, you can maybe have a lighthouse push or a one-line push. But as of now, you just can't make any estimates. Still waiting on TNG to pick their 2 tanks. There you go. Audacity picks the T110 E5. 2 T125s by TNG. Again, it's still too early to make any estimates on what they're going to play. Looks like Fame is going to go with 2 Tier 9s, which we have yet to see in this series. Most teams have been picking either light tanks or artillery as of now at Tier 8, so picking 2 Tier 9s will be a first. I wonder if they'll use a second batch at AP as a complementary, or if they'll use a 53-55. Which can be very punishing on this map if you play certain strats.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with Artie on this map though. It's a fairly smaller map.
I think it's one of those things that, like, if I have 6 tanks picked and I see your 6 tanks picked, and, you know, I have only 1 Tier 9 picked, I can say, do I want to run a second batch at AP or do I want an artillery? What are they most likely going to use with that strat, and how are they going to play it? I think it's a very risky thing to do, but at the same time, depending on how good your reads are, it could pay off drastically. So TNG is going very heavy right now with 3 T125s and a Chieftain, while Fame is going quite mobile with 2 batch at Ts and 1 batch at AP and an E5. The TNG finally brings out the mobile tanks and Toxic in that 1390 with Kellen on the batch at T 25T. I think with that kind of lineup, TNG might want to play the middle with those kind of heavies. It's a very plausible option. And Fame does bring out the Grill A-15, which is going to be quite lethal on this map in the north and south spawn, depending on placement. The A5, A6 climb is quite huge. So TNG has an AMX 1390, a Batchat 25T, a TVP, 3 5s and a Chieftain, while Fame has a Grill 15, 2 Batchat Ts, AP, a batch, 2 Batchats, an E5, and a Chieftain. It's quite an interesting lineup for both teams. Looks like Fame doesn't look like they're going to go straight for that 1-2 push. Looks like they might go for a Lighthouse push with the mediums. It looks like Toxic is going to get early lights down the one line. If he's not going to see anything, T&D should realize where their bat shots are going to be. And maybe be able to react to it. Looks like ZZ is going off. Maybe to do the climb. But on this spawn, that could be... I mean, on the way that both teams are playing, that could be quite a risky maneuver. Vampire Pilot does not get to any shots, and Mr. Curtis gets up unspotted. ZZ is lit where he is right now. And he does drop off the climb. Looks like Mr. APCR is hanging back at the rock, maybe to try to get them to bait them into crossfires right now, which is exactly how they're spread out. Toxic Poison does get lit. TNG definitely didn't want that to happen that early. TNG is hugging the lighthouse cliff. And it looks like they're going to try to get them to push into push into them so that Kellen Martin and Asmodeus can get a nice crossfire going on. And FK Cloud does get spotted going up, so then they know that the Chieftain is on top of the hill. Right now, Fame has a pretty nice spread. They have crossfire coverage on pretty much every part of the map except for the lighthouse and the 1-2. And that grill all the way in A5 is going to be able to punish anything that pushes around the lighthouse while lit. Magna does take a hit. They're a very slow-paced game right now. Both teams are just trying to make them play on their terms, and neither team wants to give up their ground. I think this could be a long, drawn-out game if no one gets antsy and tries to make any pushes.
Oh, yeah.
Air dot.
Both Clad and the Batch AP.
2-3-45. Thank you for the foul. Yeah, quite a standoff right now.
Yes. Looks like Fame might try to get Crossfire though on the stealth spot, or maybe even try to push it. Looks like they're gonna go straight for Toxic Poison. I don't think he'll be able to make it out alive.
He is in trouble.
Yes, he is. He's not gonna get it into the last second. He's not gonna be able to get out alive. Looks like they're hesitant though. Toxic does spot Mr. APCR. Mr. APCR does shoot the rock and does not connect with Toxic, but Toxic does get shot from the hill. He does try to shoot Mr. APCR, but it's not working for him. Mr. APCR whips a shot, and Toxic is able to pen his lower play with an APCR shell. Looks like he's going to try to run away and keep that rock with him in the E5. It looks like FK Cloud of the Batchat does miss a shot.
Asmodeus gets spotted.
Asmodeus does get low. Looks like Asmodeus dropped off the cliff. Both teams playing very, very passive right now. But has to be very careful trying to play that hill. The second that those Batchats realize he's there, they're going to be able to drop clips into him. Cooter is lit. Cooter does take a hit from the Batchat AP, who overexposes to make that shot. Mr. Curtis does get shot trying to make the same peak. And Kellen Martin and Asmodeus are just trying to keep them off the hill. Cooter is taking a lot of punishment for being right there. That vampire pilot has not been punished yet for making those kind of plays. That E5 is repositioned and left Toxic alone right now.
Oh, yeah.
Lunar Kendrick, thank you for the follow. And TVDL,
Oh,
thank you for the follow.
yeah.
Both teams were just trying to play the trading game. TNG tried to make a push, and Cooter got heavily punished for it, but as did some of TNG's bad shots on the hill. They took a lot of hit points for trying to get those shots in. Looks like there's a push on the line. Toxic Poison does go down. Hit points are shared. Asmodeus does also drop as well. Looks like Kelmar might try to get ZZ out of the fight. Mr. APCR is a one-shot, but I don't think he'll be able to... the Batchat's not reloading. Kellen does run into the E5. He does ram into him. Drops out Mr. APCR, but Kellen does go down as well.
Rupture Ninja,
Audacity is about
thank
to
you
get
for the
punished for
follow.
that grill. And that grill sitting in A5 is going to be able to punish them when they make that push. FK Clad does drop down. Batchat 25 is a one-shot. Vampire Pilot also goes down. And Audacity just gets hit by the grill. Audacity goes down. And right now they're going to try to get FK Clad out of the fight, but they're going to get punished for by that girl in the back, who is still unlit. Hunshops goes down, and that was just Parko and Cooter against all those players left. And Hunshops is cut out of position. I mean, Parko is cut out of position right now, and he's about to get rebalanced by the grill. Cooter goes down by Magna, and it's just Parko left, and he is completely out of position right now. He has no cover from anything.
Oh, yeah.
He does take out FK Clad, however, but it's not going to be enough to save this game.
EK Gamings, thank you for the follow.
Looks like they're just waiting for the grill to reload. The grill does eat the track, but now Parko is just going to get rebounced by $3. He does take out Magna before going down, though, leaving the score to end on 4-7 in this particular game. Yeah, that grill in the back was able to just put a lot of work at the end of the game and dealing 3,600 damage, really punishing that push. Had if they were able to plan for that, they may have been able to make a different push. But pushing those mediums around to those two Batchats in E5 was a big mistake because they just got outmatched.
Yeah, that grill's in
The
good
TVP and
position.
Batchat can't drop multiple tanks. Yeah, that's position they've used against us a few times, and it gets us every time because it's a very awkward and crafty spot. And so you have to be very close to spot the players in there, actually.
Steel Titan, thank you for the follow.
Yeah.
Taki0202, thank you for the follow.
Now let me just let both teams know that they can start picking tanks. I feel like every time they're always hesitant to start picking tanks. I think it's going to be a very interesting series play out. Right now it is 3-2. Fame is in the lead. Looks like both teams may be changing up their lineup a little bit, or at least Fame. Last time, the way that they spread was very nice. They had a lot of crossfires, anything that TNG tried to do, and they were really stuck to one side of the map. TNG is going quite heavy with the E5s. 3 E5s, a bad shot, and a bad shot AP. 2 bad shots now, and with just Kallenmartin being the last pick. Famous bringing up the 2 Batchat APs again. I think it's a nice combo to run. You might be able to get the sacrifice right in the tier 10 bat in terms of a tier 10 heavy, because really the tier 9 heavies against some of these tier 10s just really can't compete. Besides maybe the, in terms of armor, maybe the ST1, sometimes E75, or a hold down T10, but that's pretty much it. A lot of those tier 9 heavies can get butchered by premium ammunition quite easily.
Yeah. And there's the Artie.
There it is. 53-55.
I hope to see a one-shot.
I agree. That's always... Because you always know the comms were like, you know, watch the Artie, you know, Artie say, stay behind this rock, you know what I mean, get unspotted before moving, all that. And then you just get one shot and you're like, oh my god. And then if you're the player who's in the artillery and you one shot someone in a scrim or even in a Death Star or something, you know, it's just that sudden burst of that pleasure of seeing something one shot is like, yes. You know, it's hilarious. Just confirm that both teams are ready. So as of now, both teams have been dominating their map picks. This is Fame's map pick right now, so if this continues at the rate it's been going with these matches so far, we could see a 4-4 series and see some tiebreakers going on, which is always very, very stressful for both teams, because one wrong play, one wrong RNG roll, and you know, you lose the series because of it. So as Fame has two Batchat APs, 2 Batchats, an E5, a Chieftain, and a 113, while TNG gets a 53-55, a Batchat AP, 2 Batchats, and 3 E5s. This is Game 6 of the series, and the score is only 3-2. This is a very close lineup matchup right now.
Oh yeah.
Demon
Looks
Lord
like Fame might go for that
69690. Thank you for the follow.
Looks like Fame's gonna go for the 1-2 push. Well, Parko is just going to try to sit and spot what goes up. Maybe if he can reload in time, get crossfire, but I do not think he's going to be loaded in time for those bat shots. Parko does get lit.
Magna takes a hit, going up the hill.
Toxic Poison needs to back off before he gets clipped. He does. Looks like he just eats a shot right there. That's always the riskiest play, is when you push the hill. If you have someone pre-aiming that, you can get a nice early shot off, especially if you're in like a TD. It's a nice, very early damage. Right now, it looks like TNG is just going to try to hold so that 53-55 can put work into them. The only players who are already safe for now are Quickly Trigger, FK Clad, and Namaster ABCR and the 113 are both already safe. They're pressuring the bottom right there. Looks like ZZ. Looks like that may have been just an arty shell right there.
Yeah, I think he landed on both players.
That's a very, very well placed shot. They both now are half health. With a nice spread of damage on TNG. Only 2 tanks have taken shots. Both looks like they've only been 1 shot. And that arty shell right there on those bat shots is very lucky that they were both stuck that close. Grizzly Trigger does get shot by Toxic on the hill. And now he's shooting at Fred Carries. Toxic's in a very strong spot for that particular lineup, because he had that lane locked down, so anything that they had to push, he was the one ready for it. Whereas now it's the other way around. So right now nothing's really happening. It's kind of just like that not the early game, but like that mid game that nothing really happens. You're just trying to make wait for someone to make a mistake. That E5 down there just got hit. Oh, that 113. My bad. My mistake.
Yeah, quite the standstill right now. But there is an artillery and he is still alive, which is...
Exactly. That's very lethal. ZZ right now is prime candidate for getting 1 shot. As is Magna on the hill. ZZ is now a 1 shot. I think he just got hit by Kellen Mond again. That
Ryan
artillery right there.
__, thank you for the follow.
I know we were talking earlier how you said you were iffy about an artillery on this map, but to be honest, if you get stuck on this horseshoe like they are right now, it's very difficult to get out of it without taking shots or getting hit from artillery. Without leaving the horseshoe and having to go all the way around, which then you lose map control. So right now they're really stuck to a few areas to avoid getting hit by artillery.
Looks like the E5 is pushing, but does not get to spot Artie.
That artillery where he's right now is going to be very difficult for them to spot where he is. Looks like he's outside of spotting range from anything on the field right now, which he most definitely is. Those E5s will not spot him if he shoots where Kellen is right now. He's above the man in bush. It'll be very difficult to dig that artillery out. And right now, Fame has bled a lot of hit points. Right now, Fame just needs to be cautious of what they do. If they try to make any kind of aggressive plays, or if they get caught out in the open, and then artillery is able to change the tide, like that artillery can really punish anything. Because right now, they're just waiting to bleed and then push in. But with only 3 minutes and 30 seconds left on the clock, they need to act fast to get anything done. If Fame is able to draw this, then it will be a different meta, definitely, for the next game. Fame will be more prepared for this kind of play. FKClad is taking fire, trying to reposition. Looks like Toxic did climb on top of the hill to try to dig Magna out. Hunshops is pushing around. Now Toxic owns the hill. He has to be very careful what he has to play from those bad shots. Right now, Asmodeus and Audacity are going to try to take out FKClad, but they go for Magna, try to get him off the hill. Fred Carries is back at J3, trying to get a crossfire onto Toxic. Magna does drop off the hill because he doesn't think he can win it, but there's Hunshops right there, ready to punish him for it. But that jump goes for the Chieftain instead. FKClad is now a one-shot. FKClad does finally go down. Magna Flashboy is now also a one-shot. Will they be able to take him out without taking too much punishment for it?
Cooter now coming in.
ZZ goes down. MP Cooter comes in, is going to be able to clip out Cooter goes on a reload. Magna Flashboy goes down. Cooter just doesn't high roll enough to get out Mr. APCR. Let's say Audacity might have to come in for the finish, but Audacity being a one-shot could be difficult. Quickly, Trigger goes down by Calamartin in the artillery. Looks like Parka might try to roll in, but they're going to meet with Fred Carries. Fred Carries is reloading, however. Fargo does hit his engine, but it doesn't look like he's going to be able to line up a second shot. But Hunshops is able to get shots into him as he's falling back. Parko does get ammo racked. He may not be able to get shots. Mr. APCR goes down. Mr. Tubby Tank is the prime target right now, is focus fire. He gets a one-shot. Calamari only hits for 43, and Toxic Poison is able to take him down. Now it's just Fred Carries left alive, and he is a one-shot, and Hunshops is able to take him out.
Move back. We're in over our heads.
Wow.
Calamari being able to deal 4,000 damage in that artillery.
Yep, that is a game changer right there.
That could have just set the tone. We could open the room for Sergeant Cruz to get in here. That game right there, TNG was able to make Fame play on their terms. All that TNG had to do is just try to hold and really allow for the artillery to bleed them down, so that the last 2-3 minutes of the game they can push in and eliminate the tanks if they can. And if it comes down to it and they have to draw the game, there's enough time for someone to get away and take the game as a draw rather than a defeat. It's an act that's been done for quite a while. teams like to wait to the last minute or two to push. That way they can run away if they need to and draw the game out.
I'm gonna go use the bathroom quick. I'll be right back.
All right. And they want. Close the room again. Oh, rip. Looks like Fame is picking an E5 and a Chieftain right now. Which, both tanks are very good contenders for this map. You can really play the 3-line or the forest with those tanks since they have good gun depression and turrets. TNG picks a Batchat and E5. You can more than definitely expect that Batchat to be spotting the forest. This is always an interesting map to play. I haven't seen it played really a lot recently. I don't remember it being played in WCL, but it is a very nice map to watch played because really you can have a team control the forest and a team control the 3-line, and it can be very difficult to pull the game through if you make a minor mistake or the enemy is in the right spot. And it makes games really unique because those split-second moves or that specific rotation, how they react with each other, can make the game very unique, which is why I like Muro. Because you can play either side of the map and you can win from both sides. You don't have to play one side of the map like you do with others.
I'm back.
Whoa, that sounds so trippy when you come back. Oh, that's the tank that I have yet to see played in 768, and I'm actually really excited to see it. Object 416 having one of the highest DPMs, to my knowledge, in Tier 8 medium tank, with the T-54 as a gun with that 330 heat, which can, with that camouflage rating in certain spots, can be a very nice tank to use. TNG's picking 3 Batchats, 2 E5s, and a Chieftain. I wonder if we'll see an artillery come out of this one.
I hope so.
It
After
seems to be the
seeing
game
last
changer.
game, doing 4K damage, this is a really arty friendly map.
It is. I
This
remember,
is TNG's map choice, right?
yes, it is. I remember,
There it
in
is.
Damages in Clan Wars, yep, there's Toxic. And that 40-43. Nah, Damages in Clan Wars, we played Comer in 10-100. It was not fun. But I remember, against Fame, they picked a CGC and it did 8,000 damage
Wow.
in that artillery piece. It was ridiculous. That is something I hope that no one has to experience. That's for sure. Okay. And both teams are ready. So this is TNG's map pick, and TNG is picking a 40-43, 3 Bad Chats, 2 E5s, and a Chieftain, while Fame is picking an Object 416, an STB-1, 3 Bad Chats, an E5, and a Chieftain. Looks like both teams are going to predominantly play the 3-4 line. Which should be quite interesting, because this is the side of the map that artillery can really make an impact. Those SCBs are going to be able to work the ridges very nicely with that gun depression and that sleek turret. Looks like the 3 Batchats are just going to push right into the bull, but it looks like Magna's actually just going to push to the house instead. Which really get those E5s in a bad position. Looks like they're sharing good damage right there. Parko drove in front of Cruz. Vampire is reduced to a one-shot right now. With all those autolars, it's quite difficult. Curtis is now the focus. Curtis is now reduced by hit points. And Asmodeus and Cooter will be able to get crossfires in those guys at the corner. FK, Clad, and Z's are going to try to use the ridge in front of them now to get crossfires on Asmodeus and Cooter on the left side. It could prove quite difficult. Asmodeus does get shot. Fred Carries does get hit. All the hit points are just being bled out right now on both sides, really. But Fame caught out with their squishy tanks in a bad position, and they were able to get punished for it. Especially with that artillery piece. Even the splash damage is quite lethal. Mr. Curtis goes down in that bat shot. Vampire Pilot and Magna Flashboy are both one-shots. Parko is also low health. Parko goes down. Magna Flashboy and Vampire Pilot are stuck right there. Mr. APCR goes down. Looks like it's getting taken out by artillery. Right now, those 2 bat shots are stuck in a really bad position. Even an artillery splash on either side of the building could finish them off. Looks like the bat shots are going to push into ZZ and the FK Clad. They clearly have the advantage right here. Audacity just get Amarak though on his way in. Like it needs to be the result of the focus. Magna Flashboy goes down. TNG's going in for a push. Vampire Pilot goes down. Magna goes down. Now FK Cloud is getting focused down by the 3 autoloaders. Looks like Hunshops accidentally shoots Asmodeus though. FK Cloud goes down.
Yeah.
The Object 416 against the odds of a bat shot.
Powerbound 1970, thank you for the follow. Can not
Looks like
talk to
Friterik's
me.
gonna try to run away. This is cool. Looks like Asmodeus is gonna be able to take a. Asmodeus bounces off the rear end of the 416's turret, and finally Asmodeus is able to take him out. Russian troll armor. As you can see, there's a nice even spread on TNG's side, with no really one tank doing more damage than the rest. And on Fame, you have Magna Flashboy, who was able to get out his full clip. But other than that, the other patch shots just got pinned down too early in the game, weren't able to get out of that position. It was a huge gamble play, and it turned out to not really work for them because of how they spread out. They were just too clustered.
Yeah, I think the bad chats were a little too overly aggressive. Pushing that house probably wasn't a very smart idea, in my opinion.
Yeah, once you pushed that house, there was no way you were going to get out of there without getting severely punished. Looks like both teams are quite passive in trying to pick their tanks. And there is another invitational match going on right now, SBA versus 7 Cav. Try to get an update on that score for anyone who is interested. Both teams seem to be very hesitant to pick tanks. It's like they want to make sure that the strat they're using is sound rather than throwing a lineup that might not complement each other for what they want to do.
Oh, yeah.
Sergeant Cruz 68, thank you for the follow.
In the game SBA versus 7 Cav, the score is 4-0 with SBA in the lead. Both teams sticking to that kind of split lineup between heavies and mediums, but TNG has swapped out Bat Chats with TVPs. Both teams picking artillery this time, which could provide for some interesting gameplay.
Yeah, it should be interesting.
We're able to see what artilleries just do in the past games, and I think that picking artillery could be very advantageous on this map, particularly. Just waiting on both teams to confirm their readiness. And the score is currently 4-3 with TNG in the lead. Both teams are ready. We just flash spec.
Game 8, I think.
It is. Will this be the last game, or will they have to draw this out on a ghost town? And since there's never been a draw, I think for this one we're gonna have to do, for the spawn pick, if it does happen, a nice coin flip. Just to add some interesting, intriguing things to display. So Fame has a 40-43, 3 Bat Chats, 2 E5s, and a Chieftain, and TNG has a M40-43, a Bat Chat, 2 TVPs, 2 E5s, and a Chieftain. Both teams are fond of those E5s and Chieftains. Very strong tank for this map. Looks like Fame is sending 2 Bat Chats to the forest. And TNG is sending the Bat Chat and a TVP to the forest, which could be a saving grace or the death sentence based on how those Bat Chats play or how Asmodeus plays. Could be a very interesting fight going on in the forest once the game expires a little bit. Looks like TNG is just playing passive in the backside of the hill, waiting for Fame to try to make any pushes, with Cooter sitting in that back ridge, just acting as more of a bunker, just for crossfire, once any pushes are made. The way TNG is playing right now, you could expect that Fame's artillery will really be able to punish them once they get lit, because they really have nowhere to go to get already safe in that position, besides maybe one of the houses, but they don't want to get stuck out of position in the process.
Artie just took a random shot. Not sure if he found a tree. I think he might have.
Oh. Yeah, that's something that personally playing with Toxic, he likes to do that. If you notice a tree's fallen or you notice a spot that people usually go, he'll take blind fires to try to get shots off. He does it in every game pretty much.
But,
both Arties looks like they did.
Yeah, I was gonna say both Arties.
Which is
Must have
quite
saw
interesting.
something.
With maybe Fred Carries was trying. Maybe Fred Carries was actually trying to counter battery. Maybe you saw the shot come out.
Wow.
There's another artillery shell, and Mr. APCR. He gets hit for roughly a little over half his health, a little under half his health, which is quite amusing because he was only spotted for a few seconds and got punished for it.
It looks like Hunchups has pushed up a little further now.
Yeah, I think what Fame's trying to do is get Hunchops to maybe push into one of the bats, and then there'll be 2 of them there to jump him, take him out of the fight. Right now, both teams are playing very passive, just really trying to get their artillery to do some work. The only shot connected so far has been an artillery piece in this game, with 6 minutes and 30 seconds left on the clock.
They're already
It's like TNG is
just
making a
missed.
play with audacity. Looks like the mediums are going to try to reposition for a push.
Fames already takes another shot. I don't think he hit anybody.
That could be... He does get lit. Will Toxic be able to finish him off while he is lit? FK Cloud gets lit. Actually astonished that those mediums haven't gotten lit yet. They're playing pretty far up on the ridge.
Chieftain now lit. Audacity gets lit. Already tries to hit. Doesn't connect.
It's like... Looks like Tox is trying to move up to get different angles on the firing. And quickly trigger is lit. And Miss Straight PCR. I'm curious as to which one Tox is going to try to go for. Asmodeus does get hit. Toxic does not connect. He lands far away from what he was shooting at. Clad does take a shot. Shots exchanged with Parko and Clad.
Smodius taking heavy damage.
Oh wow. It's like famous mediums are getting ready to get crossfires if they try to push around the outside of the hill. Asmodeus does go down. Fred Carries is able to take him out.
Toxic able to land a shot on quickly trigger.
Nonstop just get an ammo racked right there while trying to fall back.
It's like TNG is regrouping.
They might try to draw the game out. With only 2 minutes left on the clock. Any kinds of pushes right now will just allow them to get punished.
Toxic taking a shot. But nobody home.
This is going to be a drawed game. This is the first one I have seen.
We did it! We won!
Since this is neither team's home pick, I'm thinking I'm just going to have to flip a coin for the spawn. Alright, do you have a, How the hell would I even flip the coin for the spawn in the first place? Oh, so you gets, who gets... Got it. Gucci, do you have a coin flip that you can put?
Like, on OBS, you're saying?
Like heads or tails? Yeah,
Sure. Try and find
so
something
that
like
everyone
that.
can see. Just because I've never really had this instance occur. I never actually thought it would happen, to be honest. And, if not, I'll have to figure out. I'm gonna let the home team pick if they want heads or tails. I just preferred that you could have it that way. No one gets called out for foul play or anything.
No, I think I could do it. Hold on. Alright,
If not, just you flip the coin and let me know how shit flies. You know how
alright,
that
well,
happens.
it's on stream now.
All right, I'm just waiting for a team to let me know.
Who picked what? Just let me know when to flip it.
All right. All right. Both teams are fine with these spawns, so we actually don't even have to have that happen.
Okay. That works.
I figured it'd be quite difficult, to be honest with you. Someone would want to spawn or something like that. Alright, and now it's waiting for tanks to be picked. Oh wow, these lineups though, quite interesting. I wonder if Asmodeus will come out with a 50B. Something that he's normally played in the past.
Yeah, Ghost Town's a pretty tricky map for tank selection.
I mean, the good thing is it's pretty symmetrical except for the A1 and A8 climbs. The A8 climb, in my opinion, is superior to the K3 climb in pretty much every way.
Yeah.
Trying to confirm ready. This is also the longest game I've ever taken part of, I think.
Yeah, this has been a very close matchup.
It has. Just waiting for Fame to confirm that they are ready. This is forever. Okay, finally. Now, will this be the last match of the series? Will Fame take it to 4-4, or will this be another draw? Possibilities have 3. Can't really say they're endless, but, you know, 3 things can happen. So Fame has an E4, an RU251, a Batchat, 2 T57s, and 2 E5s. TNG has an E4, an RU251, a Batchat, 3 E5s, and a 50B. I'm curious as to whether or not Fame will send the RU251 to the A1 climb, or if they'll have him spot down the K line. I guess it just depends. And it looks like that RU might do that. Both teams are playing opposite sides of the maps, which usually is what ends up happening anyways.
Looks like Fame's sticking pretty close together. Besides the light and medium.
And both teams are relatively clustered right now. BAME has Magna at K3 and the RU at A3. Both teams have a pretty even spread right now. If you look at how they're placed, they're pretty similar.
Yeah,
in
pretty
the spread.
mirrored.
That's the great thing about Ghost Town is because it's pretty much almost perfectly symmetrical. It can create. You can use one strat for both sides, minus or plus little things such as climbs, but. Yeah, no shots have exchanged or been connected. Looks like Cooter does take a shot at ZZ, but it does not connect. Mr. Curtis is lit, but they have really no way to dig him out right now. Cooter does take a hit. Both teams still playing pretty passive. You don't really know where a lot of the tanks are, especially that E4 and those 57s. You have to be very cautious when dealing with those tanks because if you get caught out of position, you know with two 57s and an E4, you know you're looking at looking at potentially 4,000 hit points of damage dropped into something, which obviously is multiple tanks. Mr. APCR does get Capola sniped by Sergeant Cruz. Looks like Hunchhouse want to try to see if there's anything on the K3 spot, but he's not going to be able to light anything from that position. Both teams playing very passive right now. The weight of this series is on this match. And I don't think neither team expected to play here, so I don't think they were really fully prepared as they could have been compared to the other maps.
Parko trying to take a shot at the bat chat on the hill. However, can't get the spot. Gonna turn off Nightbot. It'll have this like audio part where it'll just pop and it'll be very loud and it's like then it'll drop down to like a normal volume.
I think both teams right now don't really know what to do or where the enemy is, and they have to play very passive because of it.
Magna took a shot from someone. I don't know who it was though. Might have been from the RU.
It's not the RU. It's actually more than likely fall damage to himself. Toxic
goes
Poison
down.
does get clipped up by Magna.
Mr. APCR lands a shot on Audacity.
Looks like Faye may be trying to get a nice pincer going on between TNG right now.
RU might get spotted here by Hunt Chops. He's in a pretty... Oh, he does get spotted. Hunt Chops tracks him. Misses his first shot.
Magna is taking damage in the cross, but looks like he's just about to get pushed by the E4, the 57, and the Batchat. I don't think Cruz knows it's about to hit him. E4 does hit his track, but the 57 Heavy does sneak one into his turret. And the Batchat is dropping his clip into him. Audacity goes down.
We got two fights at once here.
Yes. It looks like Fames, though, on the right side is just going to shoot into Sergeant Cruz and Parco, and they can. They drop Sergeant Cruz. They're caught in a very bad position. They have no way to get out, and they're caught in a horrible crossfire. Maddox is about to come up from a third direction. Parco finally goes down. Asmodeus is taking shots by the Batchat as he pushes in. Asmodeus goes down without being able to clip the RU. Cooter goes down. And all that's left is Hunt Chops, who is lit and trying to run away.
He does have all his hit points left, though.
Yes, he does.
And there
Looks like Fame is going to go for a cap.
Yeah. Not sure if he will get there. Looks like two people are going to cap now.
He might potentially try to climb.
And three.
Chalk up another win.
And the score is now 4-4. And Fame versus TNG. A ridiculously close series, this match.
Yeah, both teams really wanted that win on that game. You could tell.
Hopefully we don't see a lot of draws out of this last game. This game has been going on for quite a long time.
I'll put Nightbot back on.
Mm-hmm. Oh boy.
Are we playing on Ghost Town again? Just switching sides or
Yeah,
same
just switch
side?
sides.
Okay. One of the tanks needs to put in like a button where you can just like press it and it'll like swap both sides like instantly.
Yes.
It'd be a very nice feature.
As well as, like true Fog of War, like on PC, where you don't know what they picked until it's spotted. These are extremely close games. You have to get something to eat after this game.
Games have been going on for quite a while.
Before this game started, I was getting lunch, and now I'm about to have to get dinner. Considering, went to bed at 6:37 this morning, got up at 11.
Could probably use a nap.
Yep. I think I could go to bed, actually, and sleep until tomorrow morning. But I'll more than likely be up till 2, 3 a.m. anyways, so it's whatever. Maybe go to Chili's and get some chili. Yum yum.
I just saw an article on the internet and it said the best tasting vanilla milkshake is from Chick-fil-A, and the worst tasting one is from, you guessed it, McDonald's.
Oh, were you able to download the stream from yesterday's game?
Yeah, I still have to send it to you.
Alright, and then, yeah, send that to me, and then download the stream and send it to me as well. This will be definitely a game. I'll just have to trim out all the lobby time, though. That's for sure. Spend 10 minutes in the lobby waiting for people to pick tanks.
Yeah.
Maybe I should have considered WCL's policy for maybe I could for finals and stuff for 2 minutes, because sometimes this is ridiculous. You wait 10-15 minutes for people to pick tanks.
Right.
You should have strats planned, at least generally what you want to do beforehand.
Yeah, I understand why they enforce that time rule, because it it really does make sense to
Yeah.
to move along.
Yeah, just imagine the WCLT of game at like 3, a game at 5, or like 1-3, whatever. You can't be going on 3 hours. You know, especially for like semifinals and finals and stuff like that. They got to be like, you know, quick.
Right. But yeah, that's the reason why I put that little tank slideshow in, is because something to look at while your people take their sweet time to pick tanks.
Mm-hmm. And then this hopefully is not a draw. Hopefully some team wins this so that I do not have to, this game doesn't go on for 4 or 5 hours. I'm already pushing 4. 15 minutes and we'll be on 4 hours, so. So TNG has an E4, a 1390, a Batchat, a T57 Heavy, and 3 E5s. Fame has an E4, an RU251, a Batchat, 2 T57 Heavies, and a T110 E5. I'm curious as to see if Toxic will do the climb or not in that 1390. Looks like a medium tank on Fame was going to try to do the AA climb, which is a very advantageous climb for just for defending that cap.
Yep. He couldn't get up at first, but now he's up there.
It's a very good spot. You have a lot of crossfires in this city. ZC is taking early damage from Parco. Looks like Asmodeus just going to wait for ZZ to peek up just a little too far and punish him for it. Looks like both teams have the same kind of spread they did the game before, with 1 medium and 1 light on each side. I think both teams have a pretty symmetrical spot. The E4s are in the same position as are the E5s. This is the joy of this map, just to see who can trade a little bit better. All shots bounce in that engagement right there, though. No connections.
Looks like Toxic might spot Magna here.
Perhaps, but they are quite a distance. So I mean, it's possible. But Toxic will have to overexpose a little bit to get spots, and he'll more than likely get lit in the process as well. I think Toxic recognizes that he might be in that spot and is going to hug the line so he can't get lit. Magna does get lit though. You can tell that both teams are very anxious because the score is 4-4 and neither of them wants to throw the game. It's very passive right now. No one really wants to make any trades anymore. Anything like that. Which is interesting because you see that you have no vision anywhere and nothing's really changed. Everyone's in the same positions. Looks like Fame's light tank's getting a little bit more antsy on the south spawn on the K8 area, trying to get a spot onto K3.
He might get spotted by Audacity up there.
He might. So if Audacity's crew is good enough, he will be able to might be able to outspot the RU. But if you think about it, that RU is near a bush, and that Batchat is not.
Looks like Toxic and us. Toxic's coming over now by Audacity. And now the RU gets spotted.
It's the first time I've seen this climb be really taken advantage of. It's not something you see often.
Looks like the E5 sees the 1390 and misses. Audacity now pushing up.
It looks like he's gonna try to get crossfires on those tanks. But he's always gonna be able to look at this. The Batch hat Audacity's gonna be able to clip on Mr. APCR in the ass. He gets his engine and his track blown off at the same time. He does with the shot on the ground, does not get to hit quickly trigger.
Toxic punishing the RU.
Quickly trigger does go down. Punch Hops goes down next. Engagement is very close. Looks like Asmodeus gonna try to drop on top of him, but he messes that up and his lands sideways. Doesn't look good. Mr. Toby Tank might come in from the side and clip him out. Magna Flashboy gets Asmodeus. Sergeant Cruz goes down. ZZ goes down next. Cooter drops. Mr. APCR drops. Wow, this is ridiculous. The RU-251 can get finished up quickly.
Big problem is Fame's Bat Chat is on full health and
Yes.
is reloaded.
But there's only 45 seconds on the clock. Looks like this could end up being a draw. Audacity and the 1390 are both going separate sides. There's only 30 seconds left on the clock. I do not think that either team will be able to cap this one out. Looks like this is most likely going to end up as a draw. Looks like Magna recognizes that Toxic might be in that same climb as he was earlier and is going to go after him. Mr. Kurdish does go down.
Toxic shooting in the air. Pretty cool game.
Yes.
It was very slow at first, but then it just got intense.
And another draw. Oh my god.
What's up?
It's a draw, they have to replay.
Mm.
Cap or kill all. That's the type of thing I was referring to earlier. The teams will wait to the last minute they can and push in. I'm surprised I haven't seen a waffle yet in this map. To be honest with you.
I don't know about Waffle on this map. Mainly just because
Well,
of
I
its
mean,
reload. But I am surprised that no one uses that many tank destroyers.
well, I remember in WGL they used to use the waffle a lot on this map. I remember seeing a lot of game-breaking plays with it, or game-making plays, depending on the team you're on, of course. And how is that I have to change my batteries?
That's right, my controller is low on batteries too.
I mean, my controller can die and I can still talk, so it doesn't really matter, but...
Or are you on the Xbox app?
Oh, wireless mic.
Ah, okay. What kind of mic is it, if I may ask?
Turtle Beach, Stealth 420X or something like that.
Oh, okay.
I have to open the room up. We may have disconnected.
Oh, we lost somebody?
Yep.
Let the trolls come in.
Mm-hmm.
We want to see some tier 2s and tier 1s.
Uh... Well, I'm gonna go to the bathroom really quick.
Alright. for any of you just joining. We have Fame versus TNG. The score is 4-4 with 3 draws.
Oh man. Ugh. Trying that one last tank pick.
There we go.
Confirm ready in Discord. Hopefully it doesn't take 10 minutes for someone to say ready. Well,
Let's do it again. Any different tanks? I think everyone's using the same setup as before.
yeah, Fang with the E4, RU251, bad shot, 2 C57s, 2 E5s, TNG with the E4, the RU251, the bad shot, 3 E5s, and a Chieftain. It does look pretty much the same, yes. But who knows? They'll probably use the exact same strat too, because I believe the last time they played this one, they did win. So they might try to play the same strat again. It would be amusing to just watch one YOLO push right at the start of the game, like right to the middle, right into it. I mean, it would probably be a pretty bad idea, but it'd be very amusing at the same time. Asmodeus and ZZ spotted. Although normally you have 2 E5s right there, but now Asmodeus is in a Chieftain compared to the Parko and the E5 like before. So that could be maybe it'll be a difference this time with a different tank. You never know.
I have a lightning storm going on, I think. So if I go kablooey, you know why.
Oh, is that an excuse?
Nah.
Looks like blind fires should be taking at Magna again. Nothing's even close to connecting though. Yep, this looks pretty much the exact same again. Minus the chieftain being swapped out with an E5, or the position is different. Also, Fame has the E4 in a different spot this time as well. Both teams are definitely feeling it this game, though.
Looks like Fame's E4 is relocating.
Yep. Looks like he might actually consider duking it out with the guys on the right side, or act as just a bait, really. Or not bait, but like wait for them to push in and then punish someone. Both teams playing this very passive right now, as usual, and probably into the last few minutes of the game when they'll make any plays. Quickly trigger and the E4 is repositioning again. Yeah, you can hear that thunder all right. This is one long series. No one has any trades yet in 6 minutes, just about. Not one shot taken.
Well, you spoke too soon.
Magna finally gets hit in his bat chat. He finally gets the blind fire. I mean, they probably wasted like 30 grand trying to get him, but, you know.
Takes another hit from Poison. Poison takes one.
Looks like Poison does get hit, though.
Audacity hit ZZ.
There we go. Some trades finally being made. I think people realize that with 3 minutes on the clock, you need to do something in order to actually win and not draw the game out again. Maybe I should rotate, like roll the maps out and pick like province or something. Change it up a little bit, spice it up. Hmm, 2 minutes on the clock and nothing's happened yet. World of draws, my guy. World of draws. Looks like TNG's gonna go for a push on the south side, on the southern side of the city, though.
Yeah, looks like a push is about to be made. Maybe. Well, meantime, light tank is headed towards TNG's cap.
It's gonna force someone to go back.
I'm sure toxic poison will be voted to do that.
Yep. Oh,
Uh-huh.
10-17. What a high roll. "44 seconds. I don't think they'll be able to do it."
I think this will be another draw.
Yep. I don't see how they could pull this through in 23 seconds. I don't think it's possible.
Oh, but there's a second tank now at the base. Bat chat. But there's not going to be enough time to cap.
Nope.
If the bat chat was there when the RU first went on the base, I would say this game would have been famous.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah.
But that did not happen.
World of draws.
So that's 4 wins for each team and 4 draws. I think
There it is. It's about freaking time. I would have picked that last though, to be honest with you. Not first. Because now it allows for them to just... allows for Fame to possibly pick a Death Star for a counter. I always try to use those finessey tanks last.
Yeah.
Artillery, stuff like
Typically
that.
a smarter move, but it's all about in-game.
Yep. I think we might a bat chat. Magnan is bat chat again. This is going to be rather interesting.
Yeah, I mean, good tank selections both ways.
Looks pretty much the same from Fame. Alright, TNG has an E4, a Waffle, an RU, a Batchat, 3 E5s. Fame has an E4, an RU, a Batchat, 2 T57s, and 2 E5s. Whoa, TNG's changing this up quite a bit. That instead of going up the north, they're gonna go down the south. It looks like this time around. As of now, it looks quite interesting, actually.
Looks like we're gonna have an RU battle off the beginning.
RU plus Batchat, though.
True. He looks like he's running. Mr. Tubby Tank taking a hit.
Oh, someone's about to get rebalanced. I feel it. I'm feeling it, Mr. Krabs. Oof. That E4, though. What a horrible trade on Audacity's part.
These two E5s are in big trouble. Audacity takes massive damage.
Audacity goes down. was a very risky play and it did not work. Audacity just got focused down too hard by the 57 heavy. I have a feeling that this one is not going to be a draw. It's just
Yeah,
hunched
I
up surrounded now
think
by all those tanks. and
Fame is gonna take this one.
I don't see how you could hide for 7 minutes and get the resets.
Huh, 2 misses. Bad chat takes a big hit. RU goes down.
The bat chat's about to go down.
Yep.
And now it's just toxic poison left. And he gets taken down.
Pull back. We're in over our heads.
Now that right there, Fame came prepared and brought their A game, and you know, they really practiced for this, and they conquered their goal of taking out TNG.
It was a long fought victory.
Yes. With that though, I'm gonna say thanks for watching the stream, and thank you Gucci Mang for streaming that for me.
Not a
It
problem.
was probably the closest game I have seen in a long time, to be honest with you. Those
This was
kind of
a-
fights.
Yeah. It was a pretty long match.
Both teams really wanted to win.
But yeah, I'm gonna cut the stream, so thanks for watching, everybody. We'll catch you on the next game.